happy readers! It's Shedtime Stories with me, Issy. Are you ready to share a new story? I have chosen quite a phantasmic story to share. The title is Andy and the Mask of the Dead. If you have this book at home, you can read along with me. The author, the person who has written this story, and the illustrator, the person who has drawn all the pictures, is Carolyn Watson Dubishk. Now Andy is getting ready for a costume party, and he's got his skeleton costume on already, but something strange happens. Shall we read and find out? Andy and the Mask of the Dead. On the very last night of the full moon, Andy sat by himself, alone in his room. His skeleton costume was laid out on his bed. Excited, he pulled it over his head. The costume party wasn't far. His mother told him to wait by the car. From the bushes came a young girl. Flowers were woven into her curls. She offered him a mask of a painted skull. So he strapped it on with a little buckle. "How do I look?" he said, spinning around. She laughed and then floated 3 feet off the ground. Andy shook with fright and ran back towards the front door. But there stood an old woman where there was no one before. "Would you like some pan de muertos, Andy?" "Is all of this just for me?" He lifted the mask to take a bite. And suddenly she was out of sight. He pulled the mask down and looked around. Ghosts were floating up in the trees. Far away and in the street, holding hands and even eating sweets. Andy started eating his own special treat and took a walk down the crowded street. One ghost gave him a rose and a crown of marigolds. Then he danced to music from long ago. "Andy? Andy, we're running late. We have to go." Yes, I know. Andy waved to his friends and left in the car. His party with the dead was the greatest by far. Where did you get that mask? The end. All about Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead, or Dia de los Muertos, is a celebration of life and death in Mexico. It is a 2-day celebration that occurs on November 1st and 2nd each year, just after Halloween. People celebrate in cemeteries throughout the country, bringing favourite food, drinks and items of their loved ones who have passed. For the 2 days, people are not mourning. Rather, it's a celebration and a remembrance. There are costumes, masks, lots of food and parades in cities around Mexico. Special altars are built in the cemetery with candles and mementos, and special food is eaten, like pan de muerto, or bread of the dead. The hope is to encourage visits from the souls of the departed. a wonderful story that was, and what an exciting night Andy had, being given such a beautiful mask to go with his costume, and to be offered such delicious food. How interesting it was to learn more about the Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos, a wonderful way to celebrate and remember those people who are no longer with us. Do look out because there are more books in the Andy's Adventure Stories. I hope you've enjoyed this Shed Time story, and if you want to, you can like, share, follow and subscribe to Shed Time Stories. Then you'll be ready for the next book we can share together. Bye-bye.